In case you can't tell by the name, Murder and Stuff contains themes that are not suited for children. It's also no good for the workplace and probably not your Mima and your Papa either. We're going to talk about some grim subject matter, probably make uncomfortable jokes, and we're definitely going to be cursing. But if that's something you're into, then put your headphones on and hop in our nondescript windowless van and come see the puppies. Hello! Hey! Welcome to Murder and Stuff. We are a podcast about murder.
And some stuff.
I'm Jennifer Sandwich.
I'm Lisa Sweatshirt.
And our theme music is by The Bad Man out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Please check them out at thebadmanusa.com. They have a new album called Laughing with Bad Teeth, and they're amazing. They're super fun.
They're
cool.
really good in concert. I just loved when we went to the last concert. I had a great time.
Every show is fun.
So check them out.
This is a variety show, kind of. We're doing a deep dive story, and we're trying to throw in a little funny bits here and there. We do a killer karaoke.
On your dumpster keyboard.
My dumpster keyboard. I found a keyboard in the dumpster, and it took it home, and I plugged it in, and it worked. So I'm going to parody songs about the whatever popular song was at the time of the murder. We have weird news that is always going to be evergreen because weird news is just fucking weird news whatever year it happens. So We've got tons of that stuff that are just hilarious to us. Our first show is about Betty Broderick. We had to split it up into 2 episodes. So there's a part 1 and a part 2. Lucky you. We are new at this. So we have recorded this about 7 times all the way through.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If podcasting were a college, we're at the application process still. We haven't even bought our books for our freshman year. We haven't even been accepted.
I'm still waiting on my informational packet.
Yes, I want to go to orientation so somebody can give me some of their knowledge. But here's the deal.
Help.
In order to do this, we've gone through uploads on the computer, buying boxes, researching this, that, the other thing. A lot of work. We're also
get a mic. Get another mic. Yes. Put some shit on your walls so the sound doesn't bounce around. It's just so much.
A lot of things. Just trust us. A lot of things. In the midst of all this, we're recording, re-recording the same subject matter over and over again. This became a bear of a subject, and we're very tired. We want to hibernate right now with that bear.
Yep.
Because I don't like the subject matter anymore because I have no enthusiasm for it. So what we're saying is what you're getting is a track of me with a less than stellar mic. Please bear with us. We're trying very hard, and we're making huge strides, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, I feel good about it too.
God, that was a little bit of a sad rant.
Yeah, you're pretty sad, Lisa.
Well, okay. Jen, if I just
what happens?
The light bulb went off, Jen.
You know what happens when you get sad?
Well, no. If you throw that fucking sad piano music over my voice, I will do things to your food.
It's sad. Yeah, but too late. This took a really, really long time.
Yes.
We're happy and pleased to give it to you as it is and try to up our game in the next episode. Hope you like it. We think it's a hilarious story. There's so much funny about it, and there's so much sad about it too. So sit back, relax, enjoy some murderandstuff.com first episode.
Yay.
Terrified.
So vulnerable right now. So vulnerable.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
The movement that I made into their bedroom woke them up, and they moved, and somebody screamed, "Call the police," and I said, "No!" And I just fired the gun, and this big noise went off, and then I grabbed the phone and got the hell out of there. But I wasn't even in that room. I mean, it just was an explosion. I moved, they moved, the gun went off, and it was like, ah! And it was that fast.
And that is Betty Broderick, everyone.
Yay.
Love her.
Yay for her.
She is a very hilarious murderer.
She is one of, just because I think it's because I saw, the newsreels and, I lived during this time. She was very interesting because she won the hearts of many, many a woman.
I think a lot of people could identify with her.
Yes.
Well, if you don't know who Betty Broderick is, she got a divorce from her husband, a very contentious divorce, after her husband remarried to a much, much younger, beautiful woman. She stole the key from her adult daughter, broke into his house, so just let herself in, walked upstairs, walked into their bedroom, and shot Dan Broderick once in the gut. The gut. Then shot his new wife, Linda Kolkena Broderick, her ex-husband's new wife, just married 7 months prior to this. She shot her twice, killing her instantly.
Just another Sunday.
Just another Sunday morning. Getting up
5 a.m.
5 a.m. going to shoot your husband and his new wife. Well, there is a backstory, and we're going to tell you that right now.
And we're gonna talk about it all.
Oh my God. She's got some fans out there. She is currently in prison right now. She is serving 2 consecutive 15 to life sentences. So she's probably never going to get out of prison. A lot of women who have been scorned like her have the same feeling. Like, I wish that, I had the guts to do that. Some people I've seen on a lot of forums and things that talk about Betty Broderick, people, even YouTube commenters, are, say things like, oh yeah, she's my hero and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what?
Well, I have to say, I haven't been through this exact situation she went through. However, I've been through something similar.
Very close.
And I would be lying if I said I never touched on the fantasy of doing this.
Right.
Not a lot. No one has to call anybody or tell on me or be worried about what I'm going to do.
No,
However, it does flash in your mind.
You're a normal person who doesn't act on your impulses.
Yes, exactly.
There's that.
Yes, there's that.
So we're going to tell you about Betty Broderick. Lisa, you want to start off?
About her stuff, her background?
Yeah, let's talk about Betty.
Let's talk about her stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, she was born November 7th. What would that make her?
She's a Scorpio, yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, to be honest with you.
Oh, Bisceglia, I believe.
Bisceglia.
Mm-hmm, very Italian.
Yes, Irish mom, Italian dad.
Yes. Yep, so basically potatoes and pasta.
Yes, potatoes and pasta.
Yeah.
Or no potatoes and pasta.
Right, no potatoes, all pasta. Wah, wah. Yeah, oh, poor Irish people. Yeah, she was pretty. I mean, she grew. Wait, they grew up in New York, right?
It's East. It looks like she graduated from East Chester High School.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a suburb of New York City. And I'm not super familiar with the area.
Okay. And then went to college like in the Bronx or something?
Yeah. Her mother's family grew up in the Bronx.
Okay.
And then they moved to East Chester, and that's where Betty was born.
And she did some modeling.
Yes, she did at like 13 years old. So she was young and really pretty, very tall. I guess she was 6 inches in heels. 6 inches. What?
You're pulling a Spinal Tap.
My God. Yeah.
Make Stonehenge 2 inches tall.
Right. She was 6 feet tall in heels.
There you go. Not 2 hashes, 1 hash.
Just what? Yes. So she goes to college in the Bronx at the College of Mount St. Vincent.
Shout out to Mount St. Vincent.
I guess. Okay. I don't even know if it's still around anymore, but, that's where she went. It was a Catholic women's college. A Catholic, that kind of narrows it down. Women, that narrows it down some more. They had to have been somewhat strict for upbringing. Irish and Italian Catholic family.
I just envision a school of sexually frustrated good girls with plaid dresses on.
Catholic school girls rule.
Catholic school girls in trouble.
So now she's in college, and this is her first year in college. Tell us who she met, Lisa.
She met Mr. Dan Broderick at a Notre Dame football game. It was a party after the game.
That's right, yeah.
And he approached her. What, did he write it on like a napkin?
There's like a tablecloth, like one of those paper tablecloth things, and he like ripped off a piece. Mm-hmm. What it say?
It said Daniel T. Broderick III, MDA, which stood for Medical Doctor Almost.
Oh, what a catch.
He's fancy.
Yeah. So
Fancy.
yes.
Almost.
Well, it's like, yeah, so he's hot shit.
I would just drop panties right there.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost drop panties.
Yeah,
How
put
about
your
that?
dick in me right now, Dan Broderick.
I'm almost dropping my panties for you.
Well, it worked, though, because she totally married him like 4 years later.
Well,
Yeah. They end up getting married in Eastchester, and her mother, like, planned the whole thing. And the only thing that really went wrong, it was beautiful, beautiful wedding. Pictures in the show notes, guys. It's just absolutely, they had money. They all had money. Both those families had money. They were doing fine.
mm-hmm.
The only problem was, like, her mom was kind of a controlling, horrible person.
Shocker.
Yeah, right? Her only complaint was like the doll mom was so upset that she didn't want Dan to wear the suit that he wore. It's just really little things that normal people would not get super upset about.
I find that so strange because when if you look at the show notes and look at his suit, it's not like they claimed it was an outrageous suit.
It didn't look that bad.
It's a suit. It is not even outrageous.
60s. All suits are outrageous. I mean, don't they all have like fluffy lace and stuff? I mean,
yeah. It didn't even look that outrageous. I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you'll see in the pictures. But they get married in 1969. That's 4 years. I mean, I think she's still finishing up college at this time. But they end up going on a honeymoon in the Caribbean where they stayed with friends in St. Thomas. To me, that doesn't sound like a great, honeymoon, but it's still...
You're not alone, but it's cheap.
Yeah, but I think at the time, I think it was a little bit in 1969, maybe. Maybe it was more prestigious or something. Or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but maybe it was nicer, more wealthy
Fancy.
people went there because they were definitely, they came from families that were pretty well off.
Well, we don't know if they were staying in the friend's guest house. We don't know. They could have been in the pool house. It doesn't mean they were staying in the room next door to the friends.
I don't have any friends that have a pool house
this
or
isn't
anything
our
in St.
world.
Thomas. Yeah.
Not our world.
No, not at all. But she comes back from this honeymoon. She's pregnant.
Knocked up twice in 2
She's
years.
Pregnant. Yeah. The very next year, she has a daughter named Kim. And then the next year after that, she has another daughter named Lee. So she's been, boom, she got married. Boom, she got pregnant. Boom, she had a baby. Boom, she got pregnant again. Boom, she had another baby. And then Dan decides he's not going to go to college in Cornell anymore. I haven't even told anybody about Dan going to college in Cornell yet.
No, we haven't even touched on that yet. Well, hey Jen, why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, all right, I will.
Thank you.
Dan was going to Cornell at the time when he met Betty in Manhattan.
Okay.
After they got married, they went and moved back to New York and ended up living in Dan's dorm with him. She's still teaching. Well, she's still going to school in Eastchester, and she's also teaching. So it's her last semester at school, and she's teaching. She's pregnant as fuck. She's taking the bus because her car gets stolen, and she'd been through a lot and ended up commuting from Manhattan to Eastchester, working as a teacher, going to college. Dan's just going to college. She's just got baby happening, and she goes and gets pregnant again. So she's going to college. She's working as a teacher. She just got married, went on the honeymoon. She had a baby. She had another baby.
And supporting her husband the whole time, monetarily.
And supporting her husband the whole time monetarily because she's already got her MRS degree.
Yay.
So now she just needs her PhDs degree.
And that stands for?
Putting hubby through school. Oh, that sounds miserable. But to her, in that time, that was what women did.
Yes.
Especially society women.
A lot of women at this time did do that, though. I mean, they did.
Of course. But you go to college to get an education so you can be a smart wife. And then you just take care of your husband and take care of the house, take care of the kids. And that's your part of the job. That's your job. Your job is to support him as the provider.
It kind of it reminds me of king and queen times where the women would learn how to sew, play the piano, speak 9 languages, and tell the servants how to throw a party.
Yeah.
That was like your MRS degree,
It's the same.
1081.
It is the same. At this time, this is the exact, it's kind of a society thing.
Yeah, if you think about it, yes, get smart, stay at
Mhm.
home, take care of the children.
Mm-hmm. Make
Or
sure
tell
the
the
kids are
maids,
smart.
tell
Yep.
the au pair how to take care of the children.
Right.
Tell the catering service how to throw the party.
Exactly.
Ah,
So this is, I don't know. It sounds all right to me.
and they say we have advanced as
Yeah.
humans.
But she's doing that. She's fully invested in him and his education and his upcoming career. So much so that Dan, just 2 years after his daughter is born, after he graduates from medical school, he doesn't continue on to be a doctor. Oh, no. He's got to go be a lawyer now. So I'm sorry, that's not even 2 years after. 1971 is when the daughter was born, and I'm not sure when, but he ended up, fuck medical school, I'm not going there anymore. I'm going to be a lawyer now. I'm going to Harvard.
But he was able to
Harvard.
drop the A off the MDA, so now he's just
Yeah,
an
so
MD.
now he's, not licensed, I don't think. I'm not sure if that ever transpired, but he definitely got the education. So he goes to Harvard Law School.
Yeah.
Now he's going to go get his JD. So he's got his JDA now, his JD almost. So Dan moves everybody out to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where he can go to Harvard. Betty is still working. She's still got these kids. They're living in a really crappy basement. He's going to school. She is busting all over,
She's
working
hustling.
her ass up, hustling.
She's a hustler.
Yeah. And he finally says, hey, I've graduated from law school. It's 1973 now. Let's move to La Jolla by San Diego in California.
Across country with 2 kids.
With 2 kids. Yes. They moved to California. Carrie Gray is a law firm that they kind of focused on medical malpractice suits.
And it's prestigious.
Yeah, it was a really nice place and kind of law famous, I guess. I'm not sure too much on it, but that's what they did. So having a guy come in and say, hey, I'm a medical doctor and I've also got my JD, so what up? And Carrie Gray's like, you're hired. We love you. We love it. It's great. He's a hot commodity. That guy is hot shit.
I think that's what he thought he was.
Oh, for sure. Well, he's got a medical degree and a law degree.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not
have
a
to
lot of
say.
people are going to argue with that.
I do have to say, though, I mean, for how much I kind of hate Dan.
I hate everybody involved in this.
Well,
I'm not
I hate
gonna
everybody
lie.
involved. However, my animosity toward that is hard to do.
Yeah. Well,
You
I mean,
know,
I guess it's easier when you have
rich parents.
and your wife taking care of
hustling.
your shit, and he's going out and buying super nice suits with her car insurance money. So when her
Ugh.
car got stolen, she ended up having to bus and walk everywhere so
Ugh.
that he could have a nice, ridiculous suit, I guess.
He is so gross.
Yeah, he's just, ugh. Well, they moved to California. Betty's still working. Guess what happens in 1976?
Let me guess. She gets knocked up again.
She does.
Yay.
She does. She carries to term. Danny Jr. is born. Good old Dan Broderick Jr. comes along. So now she's got 3 kids. She is still working because he's got student loans now. So they're still not making it.
I can't imagine the amount. Well, it is the 70s, so college was the cost was a little different. But it's not like he went to MCTC,
Right.
Minneapolis Community and Technical College,
He didn't go to our alma mater.
like we did.
Right.
He went to Harvard,
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's gotta. I mean, it's still expensive because you've got Cornell and Harvard. They had to take out loans just to live. Because you had family, and even though they lived in the residence dorms, part of the time it was still difficult. They still had mouths to feed.
Correct. Yeah.
Couple years after the son Dan Jr. is born, Betty's like, "Hey, Dan Sr., why don't you go into business for yourself? I bet you're going to make a ton of money from this.
Smart woman.
Because you're not getting a lot of money for your student loans and everything here. You know a bunch of people. You've been networking like crazy.
AKA getting drunk and sleeping in cars.
Yes, by the way, which is...
Show notes,
which is exactly what he had been doing the entire time they had been in California. He had been networking, where he's going out with his people from work, meeting other lawyers and other people, and just getting just wasted and having a good time. When I worked at an architecture firm, they used to call them seminars. Where the old days, the guys would get together after work and they'd be like, oh, they'd tell their wives, oh, I've got a seminar, and they would all go and get drunk. And so this was kind of around the same time that was going on. So that's what he's doing. He's doing this Monday through Sunday. I mean, these people are really hard workers. That don't get me wrong. They are very driven and very motivated. And they come from families who are very driven and very motivated and encourage that.
Correct.
They're not just, here's a silver spoon in your mouth and entitled and go get you. They worked hard. Both of them did. They weren't working super hard on their relationship. It was just a straight business thing to Dan, it seems like. To Betty, she was fully invested. The relationship almost meant more to her. And everything that she did when she's working all these jobs and she's, paying off his student loans and helping him out, she was doing it for the group, the family unit.
I think, like, for her, the kids, the family, the perfect societal, husband who is smart, wealthy. I mean, this becomes her identity.
Yes. This is who she is.
Yes.
So he does. He leaves Carrie Gray and he finds some investors from all these people he's been networking with. Great. And he opens his own practice. Here's the next year, 1979, they have another baby, son Rhett. He's born. I want to take this time to mention something really quick about Betty.
Okay.
This is supposed to be the timeline, but I think it's just turning into the show.
Yes.
Honestly. So I want to get this out there about... I'm going to open the notes for the original whole show. This is not going to be 2 parts in the way that we thought it was. But she was not just pregnant 4 times. She had 2 uteruses. It was called it was called uterus diddlephus. I don't know if I'm
Are they
saying
connected
that right?
or are they on top of each other? What?
I didn't even research it. I don't know how it works, but
I gotta look this up.
The first time that she got pregnant in 1969, Dan's all like, I'm going to medical school. I know what's up. You got 2 uteruses. You're just gonna miscarry, no problem. And she's like, cool. I don't want a baby anyways, so awesome. And then 9 months later, she's like, fuck, I've got a kid. So almost everything that's in this episode comes from her book, Telling on Myself. The Betty Broderick.
Oh, Betty Broderick.
It's from her, This is her book. And a couple of documentaries he watched. She was not really down with having kids, but I don't know if it was because the Irish Catholic or the time period, whatever, no birth control, I guess. Yeah.
That's what I would think. Yeah. They're married, so what's the point?
Exactly. So anyways, it wasn't just this one time. So she had, and I'm going to run down here because she's got 4 kids now, right? It's 1979. She's got 4. She's had 2 abortions during this time. Ugh. She had 1 stillbirth where she delivered a baby to term and the baby died. The baby was dead. And she delivered a dead baby. She had 3 miscarriages. If you think about it, in the first 10 years of their marriage, she was constantly pregnant, not being pregnant, having babies, miscarrying. She was pregnant and sick for 10 fucking years.
Bleeding from 2 uteruses.
Bleeding all over the place. She has worked through it. She was having jobs, multiple jobs at one time sometimes. So this is the very first 10 years of her relationship is just her being sick and moody and depressed and pregnant and just working her ass off, just waiting for something to pay off.
Schlepping herself around because suits were more important than her car.
Oh, yeah. And, she's resentful about this. There's no doubt about it.
Dan does sound a little selfish. I mean.
For sure. He
Come on.
definitely is selfish. I mean, but he's doing the same thing that she's doing. He's doing it for a different purpose, though. He's kind of doing his whole thing for himself, where she's doing everything for herself, too, because that's what she wants. But she's doing it because thinking that this whole family and everything's going to stay together, everything's going to be fine.
She's investing in her future life.
Yeah, definitely. And she, at 1979, she ends up going to get her tubes tied. I don't know. Don't ask me if it's
Finally.
2 tubes or 4 tubes, but
Yes, exactly.
Like
2 or 4.
I don't know.
Does it double the cost then? Think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Is it
they're-
$5,000 like normal people, or
they're
10
actually
grand?
doing all right at this point, because once he leaves Carrie Gray to open his own firm, he immediately gets a client and makes like makes $1 million. Boom.
Jeez.
They're fine. They get a nice house in La Jolla in Coral Reef neighborhood, and they are doing great. This is again 1979. Her son Rhett is born, and she's like, I don't have to be pregnant anymore. I can breathe. I don't have to work all these jobs and support the family. But this has taken a toll on their marriage. She gets a real estate license on top of everything. She gets a real estate license. I mean, I just look at this timeline from the day she got married to him, her whole life changed. And she was boom, boom, one thing after another.
Well, and I've said this before. Doesn't anyone ever think to take a nap?
Mm-mm.
Just take a nap.
Mm-mm. They're busy. Busy.
Take a nap, think it through, do some planning, sit back, maybe smoke a cigarette, have a cognac.
It's go,
Think.
go.
Think, people, think.
Their whole life is extracurricular activity upon extracurricular activity, and no one's getting any extra credit
No
for
napping.
it.
No
There's
napping's
no-
happening.
Mm-mm.
But what they do try to do in
No
79
naps hap.
is they try to go to a marriage encounter retreat with the Catholic Church.
Right. I mean, this is, can you imagine 10 years of having a major family event every 6 to 10 months?
I just blows my mind. I can't have a major event once a year. If I do, you've seen me. I
Yeah.
cry. I become
Yeah.
an emotional wreck.
You break down. You're a puddle. That's difficult. Difficult to mop
And
up.
that could be like, I have to change my tires. This is babies, abortions, 2 uteruses, Cornell,
Yeah.
move across the country. I mean, if I have to change my oil, I'm upset. If I have to change my oil and put new tires on in the same week, I've lost my damn mind.
And she's been working to support the family this entire time. So it's 10 years. So they go to this marriage encounter retreat thing.
Can I just interject real quick?
Yes.
Everybody has to go to the website and look at this picture because
I knew
it
you were
is
gonna say.
so indicative of their relationship. It's just,
Yeah, that picture of she's sitting there on this bus. In case you can't look at it right now, but they're on a bus, and somebody kind of across the aisle on the bus with them is taking a picture of them two. And Betty's kind of leaning forward, and she's all smiling and just super happy. She's like, "Oh, everything just went so great." And Dan just has this look on his face, like, just completely. I mean, just
kind of hot out today, isn't it?
He is just he looks like he's out of that marriage.
He looks like he's been out of it since 73.
Oh, yeah. Maybe since like day one, he finally got to bang her, and he was just like, well, there's that.
Guess we're married.
Yeah, because he wanted to bang that hot Catholic
6 foot tall
chick who
model.
who was a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Guys like this, they love to ruin good girls. That's their thing.
Well, it's that what's that saying? You know, there's the girl you don't bring home to mom, but then there's the girl you bring home to mom or whatever. She was the girl you bring home to mom.
Yeah. And I think in a lot of relationships in high society, women know that their husbands are out doing things, or they're going to
Stuff's happening.
They're going to deal with it because they are invested in the business of raising a family, and you want your children to get your wealth and have, and it's all to be built upon and passed down. That the one thing you don't want to do is break it up.
Oh, no, women, especially, yes, women still today in higher society, they just suck it up.
Yeah, they do. And this is just it's a part of the business deal, And I don't think that Betty was thinking about it like that. I think Dan was.
I can think of a first lady who's sucking it the hell up.
Yeah,
We're going to take that out. So let's take a small break here.
Yeah. All right. So he's making more money. She doesn't have to work. They got the marriage encounter. He seemed to do pretty good. They have these little affirmation books, and he writes in it, and I'm paraphrasing, "Oh, Betty, I'm going to make everything great. I'm going to be a great husband and a dad, and everything's going to change. It's going to be wonderful. I love you so much, blah, blah, blah." That's 79, but by the time 82 rolls around, like a year and a half, he's starting to talk to Betty a little differently than he usually does. Because now they have more time to spend together, and when they do spend time together, there's a lot of resentment that's been building up, but on both of their sides. Yes. He's starting to call her old and ugly and stupid and boring and fat, and saying that he's not having any fun anymore.
Then on comes the plastic surgery, the extreme weight loss, the begging, the pleading. Look at how valuable I am. Look at how valuable I am.
Yeah. So she sees this kind of slipping through her fingers.
Yeah.
Because in 1983, guess who enters the scene? Oh,
Miss Linda Kolkena.
I'm going to back this up a little bit. I'm going back to 1982 because Dan and Betty obviously still having some problems, not really working on these problems since the marriage encounter. Some party, I'm sure he's networking there, whatever. And they're in...
AKA wasted.
Right. And they're at a party with some of his old work buddies from Carrie Gray. Mm-hmm. And this girl, I should almost say, like a 19-year-old girl, walks by, and he just says to Betty, he goes, "Isn't she beautiful?"
Ah, gross.
Yeah. So Betty's just like, what? What are you talking about? Why are you telling me this? And what are you betraying? You know, she's that's instantaneously.
Meanwhile, a big gigantic red flag is waving behind them.
It was already waving. He's saying that he's not having fun anymore, and that she's old and ugly and stupid and boring and fat. And even after she's lost weight, got plastic surgery, a 19-year-old walks by and he's like, "Hey, check her out." What?
Ugh, like she's his wingman or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so that's.
God, men can be.
This is a really shitty thing too. And they're in California. I have no idea what time of the year that this party took place, but she's wearing like a sleeveless kind of dress thing, and like a year and a half later, maybe. Guess who he hires at his fucking law firm?
The cute sleeveless dress girl that walks by at the party.
And her name is Linda Kolkena.
Yay.
She is now 21 years old.
Perfect.
Yeah. And listen to this, because she's got a shit ton of experience being a personal assistant and paralegal. She was a Delta flight attendant who was fired from her job for being a little too rubby-dubby with
hands-on with the passengers, the male passengers.
Yep. She didn't go to college at all. So she's perfect, right? And
I would literally look at that resume and be like, "Yep, you're qualified."
Oh, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Just
let's go to court today.
I'd be like, "Can you just quick suck my dick real quick and see how?" That's the part of the job description.
That's what that resume adds up to.
Yeah.
Not like, can you go get the billing information from this file? It's really just, what motel should we check into?
Suck that dick. Yeah. Or here's another good thing, because it's seriously like he doesn't even have to pay her to suck his dick, because then that would be prostitution. But so she's got to do it for free, but on the side she can have a job.
It's a roundabout way of hiring a prostitute.
Yeah, so Betty's been really fucking paranoid about this, She's just like, what are you doing hiring this girl? She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. You're embarrassing yourself. She's a waste of money. Get rid of her. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
No,
she knows what's going on.
This is where, how you always hear this story. Men call women crazy and weird, or you're getting overexcited, you're getting hysterical, simmer the hell down.
Overreacting.
Yeah, this is
That's
where
my
women
favorite.
know with their intuition something's up.
Yeah.
The signs are there. We can see them.
Trust your gut, ladies.
We just don't, I don't know if it's we don't want to admit it to ourselves, or we just don't everyone says, when you hear these stories, I didn't have the proof. But the intuition's there. You know it's happening. You've heard this song and dance before. You see it coming down the road. It's like when you mail a letter. You've put it in the mail. It just hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to get there, though. That letter's going to be delivered.
Oh, it will. But this is the part I get the most mad about when you talk about relationships, is that she has the intuition, and throughout this time, he'll call her nuts, and this will be the reasoning for him to want to leave her, is because she's crazy and nuts, and she says all this stuff. But what the opposite side of this is she's right to have those feelings, because it is happening.
She knows it's going on. He's acting like this. He's always gone. So the next year, 1984, and the pace at which everything has happened in her life since she married him, it's been nonstop.
Daytona 500.
Nothing. And she is just waiting to have a fucking relationship with this guy, right?
And they haven't even got the checkered flag yet.
Nothing.
This is Daytona 500, nonstop racing. Nobody's replaced tires.
Nope.
No one's filled up the gas.
Nobody's tending this relationship garden. That's for damn sure.
Nope.
So there we go. We ended up with a relationship garden and NASCAR. I don't know how those relate to each other, nor do I care.
They don't at all.
So this is the end of part 1. Next week will be part 2. We're going to drop some knowledge about what that show's all about.
Woohoo. We're going to go ahead and give you a list right now. Here's your recap for next week.
Yes.
Sexy affair.
Gaslighting.
Aquarium out the window.
Mad Dan.
Office surprise.
7 hours.
Birthday bonfire.
Happy birthday, asshole.
Move the fuck out.
Linda affair.
Also,
Moving out.
lost that man.
2 seconds flat.
Ain't giving Betty shit.
Dropping the kids.
Pressure gauge.
Joke fail.
Load 'em up.
In the foyer.
Restraining order.
Poking the bear.
Lay low, Broderick.
Volatile.
Brad.
Buddy.
Marksmanship.
It shows.
Histrionic.
Flailing arms.
Hung jury.
2 trials.
Isolation unit.
Feces.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, we're still trying to come up with a catchphrase.
And we don't have one. Bye.